Yes, greetings to everyone. Welcome to these podcasts related to Initiative Afrique of the University of Bern. My name is Hugues Abriel, and I am the Vice Rector for Research and Innovation at the University of Bern. And today my guest is Professor Zerihun Tadele from the Institute of Plant Sciences. So dear Zerihun, thank you for taking time today for this interview. I hope you are doing well.
Yes, thank you very much also for inviting me to this interview.
So could you briefly introduce your role at University of Bern and your academic background?
At the University of Bern, especially at the Institute of Plant Science, I'm a group leader in the group of crop breeding and genomics, where we do mostly on food security problems. So I'm a group leader in the institute. My academic background looks like I started my bachelor degree in Ethiopia in the University of Addis Ababa University, where I got a bachelor degree in plant science, and then followed by another university in Ethiopia, Haramaya University, majoring in agronomy. Then I got a chance to come to Switzerland, to the University of Basel, to study my PhD. So I did my PhD in the University of Basel.
Okay, and so since how many years now are you here in Bern?
In the University of Bern, I came for a postdoc after I finished my PhD in Basel. So it's about 21 years.
Okay.
So it's a long time I'm in Bern.
Good. And so you arrived here about 20 years ago, well, many years ago. So do you remember the first years, the first months that you were here? What were the challenges that you had to face when you came here to Switzerland, and maybe more specifically at the University of Bern?
To tell the truth, I didn't get a lot of challenge, but especially in the University of Bern, I had a lot of colleagues who are very friendly. My colleagues, first as a postdoc, and then as a research assistant, and then as a group leader. In all cases, I got a very good atmosphere. People are like international, come from different countries, different continents. So we always make some interaction, working together. So I don't complain about this type of part. So we have harmoniously working together. But what I have some challenge in while I have been here for some time is to get a grant for my project, because I work on African crop. I want to make food security as a major priority goal for my work. So during this, I take some African crops which didn't get a chance for improvement. So while doing this, I don't get grant because almost no funding agency is interested in these understudied crops, like teff, like maybe cassava, like bambara groundnut. So this is very little attention was given to this crop, so I don't get grant for most of the time. Maybe later I will tell you how we overcome also some of these problems.
Could you tell us a little bit about how you organize your work at the University of Bern?
Yes. In the University of Bern, I'm, as I said before, I'm a group leader. So we have a lot of interaction with the students, because we also seminars like colloquium we have in the university every week, and also in my group we discuss. So we have a very good interaction. But the most important things I want to say is about from my teaching. I teach students, especially the first year, where they come just from gymnasium, and we introduce them about the agriculture, about food security, about the global problem. So among these, from my teaching, but after the last day of the teaching, where we divide the students into 16 parts, because there are about 150 students. So we divide in small parts, and then we discuss about the global problem of agriculture or climate change. So this type of things we discuss, and we have make a lot of awareness to the students. So students already at the first year, they know all these problems because we discuss, they search, and we discuss this under this problem-oriented learning. So not only in agriculture or in crop science, but even we discuss about the malaria problem, how malaria affects agriculture. Because malaria affects agriculture, and the crop production is reduced extremely because of malaria incidents, and farmers cannot grow crop. So this type of things is important for me.
And well, you already mentioned, I mean, that you were well welcomed by your colleagues. Do you want to highlight also different aspects that were very positive for you when you started in Bern?
The positive aspects is when I completed my PhD in Basel. I see some job applications, so I applied for this, and then we get some competition, so we give seminar, and based upon that I got this postdoc position. So that's very positive. So as they accept me as an African postdoc or student, so I got a warm welcome because I compete, and I got this chance. So it is a very friendly atmosphere, which I already said.
And you mentioned that, well, you came to Switzerland as an African scientist with your background, your education in Ethiopia. So how do you see that as an African scholar here at the University of Bern, you can bring something different to the university?
Yeah, maybe let me start with my PhD. It's because when I came to Bern, it was almost most of my problems were solved. But when I did my PhD, that was a big challenge for me. It's a big shock also, because I studied agronomy in Ethiopia. Agronomy means working with farmers, working in the research stations. I never seen PCR machine. I never seen autoclave. I never seen all this molecular biology lab equipment, and I never worked with these things. So I directly joined molecular biology lab in Basel, in Friedrich Michel Institute. So that was a big challenge. I need to work day and night until midnight. We work to make a bit, compensate all these things we have, and to reach to the level of other students. So that was a challenge for me. Otherwise, when I come here, I was almost expert in the field, so I don't have problem. So I specialize now in agronomy. I can talk with the farmers, with the agronomists, with the researchers in Ethiopia, and also with the molecular biologists here. So this helped me also with my work now in Ethiopia.
Okay, kind of being a bridge. As a scientist between the actual people in Ethiopia that are working on the field and the science that is done here at the
University of Bern. With my research now is also like I do basic research here. After doing this basic research, when I get very good result, I take this to Ethiopia, work with the farmer, with the research institute. After that, with the farmers in producing new crop varieties for farmers, and then I work this. So this is what I call value chain approach, from basic research to the applied research.
Yeah. So now change a little bit. You know that about 2 years ago we started with this Initiative Afrique. We invited a community of scientists here from the university. So And you were among also the first coming. And so, what would be for you one or a few priorities of this initiative?
This Initiative Afrique is, first of all, I want to acknowledge and say thank you to the Vice Rector for Research and Innovation for this initiative and for making this a reality. This is a very good initiative, and for African researchers and for friends of Africa also, not only for Africans but for friends of Africa who have a big attachment to African research and teaching. So this brings a lot of things in the field of training. For example, we can organize short-term training, practical summer schools for African researchers and also for European researchers. Together we can do a lot of things in this area because we lack a lot of practical science in African studies. So we can introduce this, as I did with my colleagues already before in Nairobi and in Addis Ababa. We did this type of practical collaborations. And we can also continue on the long-term research, long-term training in a master and PhD level, and we can also introduce for researchers exchange program. So this short exchange programs, I think Swiss National Science Foundation, this also they promote this 3 months exchange programs, which I already used last time. So we can work on these areas to make more practical, and then maybe we also to do some platform for students or for others interested where we can exchange information. I call it Afrique Bern.
Okay, well, I like very much all these ideas. So one aspect that was at the basis of Initiative Afrique was the observation that most of the African scientists here at the University of Bern, they have their own network. And clearly, maybe you could describe, what is your network, what are your networks on the African continent?
Yes. My network is mostly limited in a few countries, 1 or 2 countries, not Africa-wide. So, for example, I'm adjunct professor in Addis Ababa University and also Bahar Dar University in Ethiopia, in the northwestern part of Ethiopia, where I teach, supervise students, and do also some practical things with them. When I teach them like molecular biology or molecular breeding, they don't know how to do some practical things. They just learn theory things. So I take with me a lot of molecular biology ingredients or like supplies, and we do practical things there with the PCR, with the molecular biology cloning of the gene and whatever. So I try to introduce this type of things. It's small but mostly interesting things. So the teaching is that part in Africa, what I do. And we have also student exchange in small scale with my level, with my small lab, but I'm doing this type of things. Research collaboration, especially with Ethiopian researchers on TEF project, because I'm interested in food security. So we want to increase productivity of this important crop in eastern part. But recently we also make collaboration with the West African Malian researchers, so to produce more sorghum in that part, in Sahel region, and also in Ethiopia TEF. So we are doing together with these guys. Also with the Horizon Europe project, recently we got from Swiss government, from Zeri, this is to increase the productivity under drought condition during this climate change with the TEF and with the maize. So we work with Europe, with maize, with the Africans on TEF. So we are working together this and to increase the productivity of maize in Europe using some genes which improve the productivity of TEF, because TEF is more drought tolerant. So we are bridging also Africa-Europe with this Horizon Europe project called Booster. So in summer school, summer training, as I said, I've been involved also in this training, so I can also make more work on that area.
Extremely interesting. Thanks a lot. My last question already. You have quite a long history of being an active scientist here at the University of Bern. I'd like maybe to know whether you would have advices to give to younger African scientists that are coming here to Bern and they're just starting at the university when they are from any African university.
Yeah, students who come from Africa, they have to first accustom with them, with the culture, with the working condition, with a life in a developed country. It's a bit different. So first they have to accustom themselves to adapt to them, the working condition, and also the commitment to do research and the like. Unless otherwise the students are not committed, so it's difficult for them to cope up with the research we do here and the like. But once these very good students coming from Africa, they can easily cope up with work and become very good scientists for their country and also for their universities. Yeah. So it's the most important thing is to make a good teamwork. Also, if they are not a good team player, in the team, also that's also a big conflict they bring. Because sometimes I know from my experience also some colleagues come from Africa. They have some small conflict which they can correct easily, but they have to learn first. They have to have a patience and also do this research based upon this. This is my advice for them. Yeah. Patience, doing more work, hard work, and also have a good team work.
I still have another question because I'd like to understand correctly because from what you said. So this teff crop is, maybe you can describe that quickly, and also this concept that some of these genes from this crop could be used in maize.
Yeah, the Horizon Europe project called Booster is aimed to increase the productivity, resilience of the crop to increase under drought condition. Now there's a drought in Spain, Italy for maize, but we want to increase the productivity of this crop. Teff also, there is extreme conditions where teff is growing in Ethiopia, in northern areas where there is a drought. So the idea is teff is more drought tolerant than maize. So because it's a hardy plant for some time. So how we work together is we take some interesting genes or interesting microorganisms. In this case, what we do is with the microorganisms. So the microorganisms, we collect soil from Ethiopia in a drought-affected area. So that's these microorganisms we study, and if the microorganisms have the role to increase the drought tolerance of teff. So once we characterize these microorganisms, now we have been characterizing already in Ethiopia, in South Africa, University of Cape Town. So once we finish this, we bring this to Bern in the next 1 month or 2 months, and then we characterize more their effect on drought tolerance in teff. So once we get a very good microorganisms, we want to introduce and test them under maize also in the University of in Belgium, in Ghent. So we have like 12 countries involved in this project, but hopefully the microorganisms from teff in Ethiopia might help solve the problem of maize drought susceptibility in Europe.
Maybe now a bit more personal question. So culturally in Bern, I mean, it's very different. So what do you do? What do you like specifically in Bern?
In Bern, it's a lot of things are very good to visit, even to walk around in the weekends, and to visit countryside, or hiking, or sometimes skiing also. I'm not good in skiing, but my kids are skiing very good, and so I like I think a lot of things in Bern. So
okay,
I've
good. And you obviously you learn to speak German.
yeah, I speak
Berndeutsch.
no, but not Berndeutsch. I speak High German,
Yeah.
but my kids speak Swiss German, and they use it as a secret language for them.
Well, thanks a lot. Thank you very much, Zerihun, for sharing your these insights with us today. So we learned a lot, and clearly I wish you all the best with your future activities.
Okay, thank you very much.
And dear colleagues, I encourage you to continue listening to this podcast series, as more of our colleagues from Initiative Afrique will be interviewed in the coming weeks and months. And with this, I wish you all the best.